Hi everyone, I'm MaryAnn. I'm a visual artist and voice coach from Singapore, currently in Singapore, and welcome to another installment of my weekly vlog series, Live Your Dream. So this is where I share what I'm learning in my journey as an artist, as a voice coach, as someone who's all about living the most authentic and meaningful and best life that I can possibly live. Creating a worthy and meaningful purpose for myself, which to me is really about living my dreams and pursuing whatever it is that I'm passionate about. And I'm recording this series because I would like to inspire you, motivate you, encourage you in going after something that really matters to you. And if you're already doing that, well, this journey, you will know then that this journey is not an easy one at all. It is, in fact, one of the most difficult journeys you can walk. And I'm here every single week to remind you of why you need to continue doing this for yourself. And if you want, of course. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can also directly message me through any one of my social media links, which are in the write-ups attached to these videos. So I have been going strong on my 100-day daily illustration challenge project. I am currently at day 38. Well, at the time of recording this, it's day 36, but by the time you watch this, it will be day 38. And honestly, I've reached a point now where I'm like, I need to take a break. And so I decided to record this video as a way of justifying my reasons for taking a break. Not really, just joking, but more of, my need to take a break has inspired the topic for today's video. So to be very honest, I really don't feel that great taking a break from this project, just because when I'm the kind of person that when I set my mind to do something, plus I have like practically announced it to all my followers, and there's this sense of knowing that people are expecting an artwork to be published on my social media accounts like every day. I don't feel good saying that I need to take a break and I'll come back again next week. And I know there's a part of me, it's just a part of me that is holding myself to this whole integrity thing. But at the same time, I'm at a point now where the artworks are taking way longer than I had planned, because initially I thought I would just spend like 2 hours for each artwork for this daily series. It's taken me instead 4 to 5 hours. The works themselves are becoming more complicated and they are really challenging my artistic capabilities at this level. And I've reached a point where I've been working at least 8 hours, 10 hours a day on them on my work days, and even on my day offs, which I try to take like one every week. It's been like I would still be in the studio at least 1 or 2 hours, or I would be like editing the images or something. Like it is just been a non-stop thing with this 100-day challenge for the past 40 plus days, because I started them a week before. So not to justify why I need to take a break, not to justify why I'm delaying this project, but it's more like I've reached a point where circumstances, my external circumstances is such that I will be away in a program for 4 days. So there is no way that I would be able to work on these works. And plus like I said, they're taking more time than I thought. And so I do need a little bit of time to catch up. And plus I'm also getting to a point where I'm starting to feel like I'm almost like forcing out ideas rather than just letting them come to me and letting them emerge in their own time. So that's also how I know that I am reaching a limit, and I really don't want to burn out, because that would be like way worse. And I also don't want to produce not that great artwork just for the sake of producing something. I want it to be the best that it can be, even though there's a time constraint. So what I'm sharing in today's video is that when you're working really, really hard on your dream, on a project that is related to your dream, and you have been like going non-stop at it for a while, you need to take a break from it. Like the moment you start feeling, of course, if you're feeling like, I can keep going on for like a lot more, I still have it in me to keep going, then by all means, do continue. Okay, I'm not saying take a break just for the sake of taking a break. But I'm saying like if you reach a point where you have been working on it constantly and non-stop, you need to take a break. And I'm not talking about like take a break like go rest, it's not so much taking a break to like chill and do nothing, but it's more like take a break from the project. Like go do something else that is not not directly related to this project. Like go work on something else that you've been putting off. Go for a walk, go exercise, go read a book that you have been wanting to read or something. Just go do something else that is not related to this project. So I'm part of a coaching community here in Singapore where, well, it's more like a personal development and evolution community here in Singapore, where we have like programs for a person to work on transforming themselves and getting past their own internal barriers is part of the thing. Getting more awareness around what stops us in life, what are the patterns that we have, and ultimately it's really about increasing our consciousness and awareness in how we go about living our lives more intentionally and more purposefully. Well, it's a lot more complex than that, but in a nutshell, that's what it is. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on with this community, and we do take on different roles from time to time in the different programs or the different activities that go on there. And a few years ago, I was in a 6-month-long leadership program with this community. And one of the things that my trainer said to us is that, once a week, you need to take a day off from anything related to this work that we're doing here. And it was so difficult at that time because it was a 6-month-long program, and we had a lot of stuff to handle in that training program. So most of us did not follow and take that day off that we were supposed to. And so most of us were pretty burnt out during those 6 months. In fact, I didn't even make it to those 6 months because I kind of got booted out of the team, but that's another story for another time. But the point that I'm making here is that it is really important to take a day off from whatever project you have been working on. And so this applies to anything that you're working on in your life. So it's like your day job, of course, clock out and just clock out. Like don't go, like, if you're working like 5 days a week, take your 2 days off and not do anything work related. If you have to, fine, but at least still have one day where like you don't do anything that is related to your day job. It's the same thing when it comes to something that truly matters to you, something that you're passionate about, something that is your dream. Take a day off where possible, because we also need time away from whatever it is that we're working on. And it's the same thing, like, if you're living with your partner and you're always together all the time, I'm sure there will also reach a point where you need some alone time, right? Taking a break from whatever it is that we're working on, it gives us a chance to get away from it so that we can have a new perspective from it. Because otherwise you're always in it and you don't ever see anything beyond that scope that you're used to. Like if I'm always working on these daily illustrations and like always working on them in the studio, I don't see anything outside of that. And so moving away from that, it gives me a different perspective. It also allows your mind and your body and your emotional state to kind of like take a break from whatever that thing is. And when you're taking a break from that thing, of course you're still going to be thinking about it. But that's not the point here. The point is that, yes, it's always going to be in your awareness and in your space. But then it's about, can you go do something else to just take a break from that? Like put it aside, if ideas come to you relating to your project, maybe make a note of it, come back to it the next day or something. Like it's a really important practice to take a break from what we're working on, because we need it. Psychologically, we need it. We are not hardwired to like work on the same thing every single day, even if it's something that you're really passionate about. And of course, I'm not saying that, like you must take a day off every single week. I'm not saying it's a must. I'm saying like it's a good practice to have. And of course, if you are like on a roll, if you're like in this flow state and you're so excited about this project and you can keep going at it for weeks or even months, then by all means do that, okay? But I'm just saying that if you reach a point where you're starting to feel agitated, where you're starting to feel restless, where you're starting to feel like tapped out, where you're starting to feel tired in regards to the project that you really want to work on or whatever work you're doing, take a break. Take a break from it. Go do something else. Go work on something else. Go distract yourself with something else. Come back to it later, and you'll find that you have a bit more of a renewed sense of purpose, a renewed sense of energy. And if you don't have it yet, then continue taking that break. And I think what's important also is that when we take a break, then we have to decide when we're going to come back to it, so that it's not going to be like, take a break to the point that you forget that you were doing that and you kind of quit unintentionally, but more like saying that, okay, I'm going to take today off and tomorrow I'll see how it goes, or I'm going to take 3 days off and then, on this date, I'm going to reevaluate and see whether I'm in a fit state to continue again. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. And if you have enjoyed today's video, subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And I will see you next week.